teenagers at Freedom area are becoming eligible to receive their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. We spoke to Mr. Langelli and Mrs. Miller on their take of the vaccine.
The biggest negative that I hear that is a valid point, like long-term effects, right? You take the vaccine, what are going to be the long-term effects of that decision?
My only concern with the vaccine is the amount of time that it will take to vaccinate everyone who is going to get it.
On the flip side, the positives, the stress, the concern of, for me personally, not necessarily getting it for my own safety, which I don't want to get, but transmitting, passing it along to somebody else, elderly family members, people who statistically were more likely to have a harder time than others, right? So that would be the positive is if we don't have that concern, if we don't have that possibility, right? If you don't need to worry about, if grandmother gets it or what happens, right? And be able to get back to, don't want to say normal, but a little bit maybe more normalcy in terms of seeing people on a more regular basis or interactions and those sort of things. So I think those are positives as well, all that together, right? So to be able to kind of go out and about, obviously this is even talking about like economic implications, like for businesses and all that sort of stuff.
I have done my research about the vaccine, and I find it to be safe and effective at slowing the spread of COVID-19. So I plan to get it, and my family plans to get it as well.
I'm fine with the vaccine. I plan on getting it because of the positives outweighing the potential negative long-term effects of it. And I think across the board, we look at the history of vaccines, and we can't argue the positives outweighing the negatives in terms of look at the overall growth in human population, right? Life expectancies, things that we don't need to worry about today because of vaccines. So that's why, for me, I'm comfortable with getting the vaccine and then being able to partake in hopefully a lot more positives than any possible like side effects that may happen down the road.
It's up to us to protect each other. And so part of doing that for me is to go ahead and get the COVID vaccine as soon as I can.
I just want people to be educated on why you believe what you believe, right? Do you seek out information on all sides of any spectrum, right? Like, are we not just things that we agree with, trying to find, stuff, okay, I believe this, so I'm going to find sources that go along with what I believe. I believe this, so I'm going to find sources that go along with what I believe. Like, gather as much as possible. Weigh all the pros, weigh all the cons, have a well-informed decision. And if you're comfortable then getting the vaccine, go ahead. If you're still not after your research, okay. I think this idea of being able to agree to disagree, that's something maybe we've lost, recently, culturally. But as long as people know why they believe what they believe and they can actually support it, because I think a lot of times it's very easy to have opinions about it and say, well, what about this, or what about this, or what about this, or what about this? Have we actually looked into it? So I am hoping others get it because I do believe that positives would outweigh the potential negatives. But again, that's my own belief on the research that I've done and what I've looked into. And I just encourage people to do the same. Educate ourselves. Right? Like I said earlier, find things that maybe we don't agree with and find out why they believe what they believe, and try and that way we have a much better, well-rounded base to, stake our beliefs on and our claims on and stuff. So that's all.